Good morning. I had a viewer that sent me a direct message question, and I wanted to bring it to the table here. And her question was, how do I tell my mom that she's not going to come home from the nursing home? She has Alzheimer's. She didn't go into what stage of Alzheimer's she was in. She didn't go into how long the diagnosis was or what her living situation was like or any of the decline that we're going to see in this disease. She just simply stated that. And so I wrote back with a couple responses, and then I decided, you know what, I better just bring this to the table for all of us because this is a very common question, common occurrence. How do you tell your loved one they're never going home again? You don't. Did I just say that? Yeah, you don't. Unless they're so early in the disease and there's been no progression and they can still cognitively grasp and understand that this is a joint decision that you and they have made together to move into a community for the long term of the disease progression and throughout their final sunset, then you don't wait till midway through the disease progression when we're needing more assistance, when we're making more slips cognitively that are affecting our quality of life and our inability to live alone at home, and then move the person and then break the news to them. And I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. What I'm saying is telling them is very wrong because you're asking someone who has brain damage and brain impairment to grasp something that many of us can't grasp when we're cognitively whole. It would be very hard for any one of us without a cognitive issue to hear that we can never go home again, be it because of a hurricane or a wildfire like we have here, or because of a disease, because of an injury, because the home sold, you were a tenant, and the home's going to sell, but it's been your home for 30 plus years, you've been paying rent, and now it's changed, it's moved, it's been condemned. Something's happened and you can no longer go home because of a physical reason, because of a financial reason, because of a natural disaster. And so it's very hard for us as cognitively whole people to grasp that that could be an inevitable part of our future. So to ask someone who has brain damage, who's not going to understand and can't be taught to learn that this other place is now home, is asking way too much. They will eventually acclimate to the new surroundings. They will eventually grasp that this is where home is. Somewhere in their cognition, that's a capability that happens. They may 5 years down the road still be saying, I want to go home. They may start packing to go home, and that's okay. So what do you do when they say, when can I go home? Say, not yet, but let's go take a walk while we're waiting. They start packing. That's okay. There's going to be many people that are packers. We have them in our communities. So they start packing up their stuff. So you as an aide or a caregiver or a family member, you simply say, hey, you know what? Before you leave on your journey, breakfast or lunch or whatever meal time it is, that's part of the ticket price. That's included in this today. So let's go and have that. And you redirect and you try and get the focus off of the packing, off of the moving, off of the leaving, and get it onto the being there with the highest quality possible. You can totally say, hey, Mom, the house is being fumigated, there's been termite damage, and so it's going to be a little while the exterminators work on it, and then once everything's cleared up, we'll get to go. And you can use something like that as long as that excuse doesn't produce more anxiety. If that produces more anxiety, then you haven't solved the problem. What you always want to do when your loved one has these feelings is you want to validate them. I understand you want to go home. But before we do, or until we can, let's go do this. Let's take that walk. Let's go play shuffleboard. Let's go watch the movie down in the activity room. Let's play cards with the neighbors. Let's do something. Let's color. So you're redirecting, but you're validating all at the same time. And yes, it's okay to have a therapeutic lie, and there'll be so much more on that as we handle many of the ways to manage the symptoms and issues that come up with dementia. So I very much advocate in validating the feelings, and I very much advocate therapeutic lies to keep from causing more distress. So until tomorrow, you guys have a great day today.